They've made you believe you're in control. But what if I told you that every choice you make, what you eat, what you wear, even who you love, was quietly placed in your mind long before you decided it? This isn't hypnosis, and it's not some sci-fi fantasy. It's real psychology, used by the world around you every single day. You think you chose that coffee brand? No. That choice was planted inside you through colors, patterns, and repetition. Welcome to the invisible strings that guide your mind without your permission. Every second, your brain processes 11 million bits of information, but you consciously notice less than 40. That means someone, or something, can steer your decisions while you remain blissfully unaware. Advertisers, political campaigns, and social media platforms know this. They don't fight for your attention, they quietly shape it. The next time you scroll through your feed, notice how certain posts seem to feel more relatable. That's not an accident. Algorithms study your reactions, your pause, your heartbeat, your blink, and then tailor the next piece of content to keep you emotionally hooked. You're not the user. You're the product being trained. And here's the darkest part. This manipulation doesn't feel forced. It feels natural. That's why it's so powerful. You believe you're acting out of free will, but the idea of free will itself is the greatest illusion psychology ever created. When you buy something you don't need, argue over a topic you barely understand, or crave validation from people you don't even know, you're not acting freely. You're responding to triggers embedded in your subconscious. But who's pulling these strings? Corporations, governments, influencers, or maybe something deeper? A system that's learned how to guide entire populations without them even noticing. In the next part, we'll step deeper into this illusion and uncover how the human brain mistakes control for freedom. Because once you see how the illusion works, you can never unsee it again. If you're brave enough to face the truth, stay till the end. What you'll learn could change the way you see every decision you've ever made. You wake up and think you're making choices. Coffee or tea. Blue shirt or black hoodie. Netflix or YouTube. But what if I told you those choices were never yours? What if the path you walk was already written, quietly, by a system that understands your psychology better than you ever could? This is the illusion of choice. Every tap, every click, every scroll you make adds another line to your invisible profile. The system doesn't just record your actions, it learns your patterns. It knows the exact second your attention dips and the exact image that pulls it back. It knows your fears, your fantasies, your desires. The next time you think, I feel like watching something funny, remember, that thought may not have come from you. Algorithms have already decided what emotion you need to feel next to stay engaged. It's not about showing you what you like, it's about controlling what you want to like. This isn't new. Psychologists like B.F. Skinner and Edward Bernays uncovered decades ago that humans can be guided through reinforcement and suggestion. They realized we crave the illusion of control more than control itself. That illusion comforts us, even as it traps us. Every time you hit like, your brain releases dopamine, a neurochemical reward. You feel validated. The system notes it. Then it feeds you more of what triggers that same release. Before long, you're not choosing what to watch, what to buy, or what to believe. The system is choosing you. The most dangerous part? You don't notice it happening. Because when you think you're free, you stop questioning. When you feel powerful, you stop resisting. And when you stop resisting, control is complete. Look closer at your daily life. The brand you wear, the causes you support, even the people you're drawn to, are they reflections of your soul or the result of psychological conditioning wrapped in aesthetics and trends? Now ask yourself, if the illusion of choice is just that, an illusion, then what's real? In the next part, we'll go even deeper into the architecture of control. The trigger code. You'll discover how just one word, one tone, or one subtle pattern can hack your decision-making process entirely. Stay close, because what comes next will challenge the very foundation of what you believe to be your free will. They call it the trigger code. A sequence of words, tones, and visuals that can reach deep into your subconscious and flip a switch you didn't even know existed. You've seen it before, in advertisements, political speeches, viral videos. The trigger isn't random, it's engineered. It's designed to bypass logic and go straight to your primitive brain, the amygdala, the place that controls fear, desire, and survival. Once it's activated, your body reacts before your mind can even form a thought. That's why a single phrase can make you angry, a single image can make you buy, or a single tone can make you trust someone you shouldn't. It's not manipulation, it's programming, and you're the machine. The architects of persuasion know exactly how to build these triggers. They use repetition to reinforce memory, scarcity to create urgency, and rhythm to hypnotize. Even color plays a role: red for danger, blue for trust, yellow for energy, black for power. Ever wonder why notifications are always red? Because your brain is wired to respond instantly. That's not design, that's control disguised as convenience. But here's the sinister twist. The trigger code doesn't just live in media. It lives in people. Some individuals learn, consciously or not, how to trigger emotions in others. The way they pause before speaking, the way they look at you when they say your name, even the rhythm of their breath. It's subtle, but deadly effective. Psychologists call this anchoring. Once someone finds your emotional key, they can open any door in your mind. A compliment, a touch, or even silence, each becomes a weapon in psychological warfare. And when you react, you're not thinking, you're following an invisible script that someone else wrote. Now imagine this. What if someone used the trigger code to rewrite you completely? To make you forget your boundaries, question your beliefs, or even doubt your own memories. It sounds like fiction, but it's not. Social engineering, marketing, and even AI-driven systems use emotional triggers to reshape behavior at scale. If you've ever looked back and wondered, why did I do that? Why did I believe that? The answer might be simple: you didn't choose it. The trigger code did. And in the next part, we'll step into the darkest layer, the deeper planting. Where manipulation stops being external and starts growing inside your thoughts. What you're about to learn may never leave your mind again. Stay tuned. They say the deepest form of control isn't through force, it's through belief. Welcome to the deeper planting, the stage where manipulation stops attacking your actions and begins rewriting your identity. At this level, the manipulator doesn't just want to influence what you do, they want to alter what you are. Every thought, every reaction, every emotion becomes soil, and in that soil, they plant ideas that look and feel like your own. That's the genius of psychological planting. It never feels like an attack. It feels like realization. Maybe it starts small, a phrase you hear too often, an opinion repeated by people you trust, a subtle pattern of rewards and punishments. Your brain begins to adapt. It starts to absorb the rhythm, not realizing it's being trained. Psychologists call this neural seeding. Once an idea enters your subconscious, it roots itself in silence, growing without your awareness until it becomes truth. You start defending things you never questioned before. You start doubting your instincts. The mind's natural firewall, critical thinking, weakens over time. And that's when the new belief takes full control. You no longer need the manipulator, because you've become your own enforcer. Look at how propaganda works, or how certain movements rise overnight. It's not just information, it's conditioning. The manipulator uses repetition, emotion, and timing, the three nutrients of mental planting. They say something enough times, make you feel something strong enough, and repeat it when you're most vulnerable, tired, lonely, emotional, and boom. The seed is buried. And once buried, it grows on its own. Even technology plays a part now. Your phone learns your triggers. Your feed becomes your mirror. The more you scroll, the deeper the roots go. You think you're choosing, but in truth, your choices are being curated, shaped, and reinforced by invisible algorithms that know you better than you know yourself. And here's the chilling part. The longer the manipulation continues, the harder it becomes to trace it back. You can't tell where the original thought ended and the implanted one began. That's not influence anymore, That's possession. A silent invasion of the human mind, disguised as comfort, entertainment, or love. But there's a way out, if you can recognize the pattern before it completes. Awareness is the antidote. The moment you start asking, why do I think this? The spell begins to break. Question everything, your beliefs, your reactions, even your desires. Because not all of them are truly yours. And in the next part, we enter the stage where fear becomes the leash and silence becomes the cage. The manipulators call it fear and silence control. It's where most victims stay trapped forever. Don't blink, or you might miss the moment your own thoughts turn against you. Fear, it's the oldest tool in the manipulator's arsenal. Not the kind that makes you scream, but the kind that makes you stay quiet. This is fear and silence control the phase where obedience is no longer demanded, it's volunteered. At this stage, fear isn't about danger anymore, it's about loss. Loss of approval, loss of love, loss of identity. The manipulator doesn't need to raise their voice or show their power, they just have to make you imagine what might happen if you disobey. And that imagination becomes your prison. Every manipulator knows this truth. When the mind is afraid, it will build its own chains. You begin censoring yourself. You stop questioning. You start predicting what others might say, and then shaping your behavior to avoid conflict. That's not peace. That's control through silence. It's why so many people stay in toxic relationships, toxic workplaces, even toxic belief systems. Not because they're weak, but because they've been conditioned to fear the cost of freedom. Psychologists call this learned helplessness. A state where you stop trying to escape because your brain no longer believes escape is possible. And fear works best when it hides behind care. You wouldn't want to disappoint me. You know how people will react. You're just overthinking. Those phrases are velvet chains, soft enough to comfort you, strong enough to hold you. Even in larger systems, silence is the ultimate submission. When entire groups stay quiet, corruption thrives. When truth becomes dangerous to speak, lies become the new law. And every time you stay silent to keep the peace, the manipulators win another battle, without even being in the room. But there's another layer, social fear. The fear of being rejected, cancelled, or seen as different. That's the modern form of control, psychological exile. You don't need to be imprisoned physically when your reputation can be destroyed digitally. You stay quiet because the digital crowd has teeth, and one wrong opinion can make you bleed. Here's what most don't realize, silence doesn't protect you, it erases you. And fear doesn't keep you safe, it keeps you small. Every manipulator thrives on one belief, that you will stay quiet forever. But the moment you speak, even a whisper of truth, their power cracks. Because fear only survives in silence. So remember this, when you speak, you don't just free yourself, you expose the system that feeds on your silence. The next part will reveal how that system keeps you in place, not through fear or force, but through the people around you. It's called social reinforcements and hidden chains. And it's how society itself becomes the manipulator. Stay with me, the illusion is about to shatter. By now, you've seen how fear controls the mind. But what if I told you that the most powerful manipulators don't even need to lift a finger? Because they've trained society itself to keep you in line. Welcome to social reinforcements and hidden chains where the prison is invisible and the guards are everyone around you. You see, social control isn't built on orders, it's built on expectations. What to say, how to act, what to believe, what to hide. And when you follow those rules, you don't even realize you're participating in your own manipulation. That's the brilliance of this system. It makes obedience look like belonging. Psychologists call it group conditioning. Your brain is wired to crave approval. It's an ancient survival instinct. Being accepted once meant safety, rejection once meant death. But now, in the digital age, that instinct is weaponized. Every like, every comment, every follower becomes a leash that tugs at your self-worth. Society whispers, fit in, or fade away. And you obey, not because you want to, but because you fear the silence that comes with rebellion. Even when you know something feels wrong, you stay quiet. You laugh when you don't find it funny. You agree when you don't mean it. And piece by piece, your authenticity begins to vanish. This is what psychologists call normative pressure. It's not about truth, it's about alignment. The system doesn't need to convince you, it just needs you to stop questioning. And the people you love the most often become the ones who enforce the illusion. Friends, family, co-workers, they're not your enemies, but they're part of the web. They've been programmed too. Even the smallest social feedback loop keeps the cycle alive. Post something bold, and watch the reaction. If you get approval, your brain releases dopamine. If you get rejection, cortisol, the stress hormone, floods your system. It's pure biology turned into behavioral control. And the architects of this system know exactly how to pull those strings. That's why cancel culture thrives. That's why opinions are shaped, not expressed. You're told to be yourself, but punished the moment you actually try. The world doesn't want truth, it wants compliance dressed as morality. But here's the secret, awareness breaks the loop. When you realize that every approval, every rejection, every social rule is just another layer of conditioning, you start to see the chains. And once you see them, they lose their power. The final stage of manipulation is coming next, the stage where control no longer comes from outside, but from within. It's called the final manipulation level. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your own mind the same way again. This is where freedom begins, or ends. And now, we reach the end. The place where control doesn't just shape your thoughts, it becomes your thoughts. This is the final manipulation level. The point where the system no longer needs to manipulate you, because you'll do it yourself. You've seen the stages, the shadow that whispers, the forbidden algorithms, the trigger codes, the deeper planting, fear and silence, the hidden social chains. Each layer isn't separate, they're connected like threads, weaving the perfect illusion. And in the center of that illusion stands you, the puppet who believes he's free. At this level, manipulation becomes self-sustaining. You begin to police your own behavior, suppress your curiosity, and justify your obedience, because it feels right. The brain seeks stability, not truth. So when lies are repeated long enough, they stop feeling foreign. They become home. And that's the manipulator's ultimate victory, not when they change your mind, but when you defend the very system that enslaves you. You tell yourself it's normal. You tell others they're crazy for seeing what you can't. And slowly, the truth becomes dangerous and ignorance becomes peace. It's not just politics or media, it's deeper. It's in the way you choose, the way you love, the way you think. Every emotion, every memory, every decision filtered through invisible patterns designed by people you'll never meet. That's not paranoia, that's reality. Psychologists call it internalized control. It's when the voice of the manipulator becomes your own. You don't need commands, because now you want to obey. You scroll, consume, agree, repeat, and call it freedom. But here's the twist no one tells you, control can't survive awareness. The moment you realize that your thoughts are being directed, the illusion starts to break. That's the beauty of the human mind. It can be programmed, yes, but it can also reprogram itself. Freedom doesn't start with rebellion. It starts with reflection. With asking yourself, what if everything I believe isn't mine? That question alone is enough to shake the entire system. Because awareness is the one virus no manipulator can contain. And if you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step, you're no longer sleeping. But here's my warning. Once you wake up, there's no going back. You'll see control everywhere, in words, screens, systems, even faces. And you'll realize that the world isn't divided between the manipulators and the manipulated. It's divided between those who question and those who don't. So now the choice is yours. You can scroll away and forget this ever existed. Or you can dig deeper, into the hidden architecture of the human mind. Because once you understand how control works, you can use it to reclaim your own mind. If this video made you question even one thought, don't just watch and move on. Hit that *** subscribe ** button. Because the next video will go beyond manipulation. It will show you how to * reverse it. How to turn every psychological weapon ever used against you into your greatest strength. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of awareness. And awareness is power.